Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Family Album. I'm your host, AJ Tenari.
And I'm your co-host, Matthew Glass.
The Family Album, a show where two dudes talk tunes. For those who are just tuning in, the basic idea of the show, me and Matt give each other one album to listen to per week, and we just share our thoughts. However, every other week is a bit special. Every other week we bring in a guest who gives us a theme for our albums of the week. And this week we have our friend Paul.
Hello, everyone.
Woo! Give it up for Paul.
You clap. Thank you.
They love it.
Oh, I know.
They love you.
How you feeling today, Paul?
Great. Thank you.
It's early.
Yeah.
We love it.
A great morning to talk about some music, right, guys?
Yes.
Now, with each themed episode, we try to have the guests pretty much pick what we're going to do. It could be like a very specific theme, or like, I don't know, maybe like
Something
a little
general, like a genre, an artist.
We are open to suggestions.
Yes.
And this...
So Paul has chosen a very special theme. Paul, would you like to share what the theme is that you chose for us?
Well, my theme that I picked was Pentatonix.
Yes, a group I have barely ever listened to.
I actually did some Pentatonix songs for my choir in high school, so that's why I kind of became somewhat acclimated. And turns out this time around, it didn't hit the same.
Yeah, on first impressions, I think they're very talented.
Of course.
But I would never listen to them again.
That's fair.
Like, honestly, they definitely have, like, amazing voices and, like, you know, vocal qualities and, like, techniques, for sure, like, without a doubt. But I don't like listening to them more than, like, 3 songs in.
Yeah. It gets extremely obnoxious after, like, 15 minutes.
Almost, like, kind of gimmicky.
That's a perfect word for it.
Like, we get it. He's the tenor, he's the bass. Mm-hmm. The beatboxer's cool.
The beatboxer is cool.
He's also...
in small doses.
That is true. I also have no idea how his mouth works whatsoever.
Nah, dude, he can just play his mouth like a fiddle.
That's a great way of putting it.
So this week's albums, I chose their very first release, Pentatonix Volume 1.
And I chose their esteemed PTX Volume 3.
Paul, are you familiar with these albums at all?
I am, yes.
Okay.
The first one was a rough one.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, what's your experience with Pentatonix, just in general?
So I've been listening for like 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
I've been to a few of their concerts. Very, very talented people. They're much better in person.
I can imagine.
Because I feel like when you're in person, you can't leave. So you're just kind of sucked in.
You're forced to listen.
So you have to enjoy it.
You know what? It's a fair point.
That makes sense.
But no, I think like what you guys said, it's like three songs in is good enough.
Yeah.
Especially during a holiday season, if you listen to Christmas, especially like a lot of their Christmas albums are spectacular. Mm-hmm. So other than that, once maybe you can listen to it once. That's good enough. Get some good harmony in. That's what you need for the day.
Right, that's good for me then.
Nah, honestly, it's funny. Like, I kind of feel the opposite way about it, because I feel like I can only tolerate them when they're doing the Christmas stuff. I feel like a lot of their pop stuff, it sounds great, and like I love their cover of Hallelujah. That's on another album. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, the holiday stuff, I feel like because it's just the euphoria of the holiday, that's why I enjoy it so much. Like, other than that, yeah, their cover of Cheerleader was okay.
And their cover of, what is it? The Macklemore song that's on PCX, Can't Hold Us. That song's awful.
Oh,
both original and Pentatonix.
I mean, it is Macklemore.
Yeah.
You also have to question it, like, why did they do that?
Exactly.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know, I actually have a cousin that like mortally hates the Pentatonix.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody call them the Pentatonix.
Well, that's coined now. It's trademarked.
Here at the Family Album, rebranding Mitch, Scott, who were the other ones?
Kirsten,
Kevin,
Matt, and Avi, who's not there anymore.
Yeah,
the band kind of peaked. I feel like when Avi left.
Oh, really?
Not peaked, but
but like before he left.
Yes.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yes.
Well, for those who don't know, like myself, Pentatonix is an a cappella group that formed in Texas in 2011, where they got their big break on NBC's The Sing Off, and they won the 3rd season, granting them a record deal with Sony Music.
I also am pretty sure that the same dude arranges all of their music.
Okay, like a producer kind of.
Yeah, like no, like I mean like musical composer.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure all their arrangements are by the same guy.
that's pretty cool.
I feel like that just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really write a lot of their own music.
No.
They do write their own music though.
Very interestingly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know, it's funny when we talk about, like, the solo careers of the Pentatonix. Scott Hoying, he is the tenor.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own, like, set of music coming out,
Oh.
actually.
Okay.
For, like, the first time ever. I think he's starting to hop on the Avi Kaplan train and realize that maybe just being a tenor isn't, like, in like, a band is not exactly what it's all cracked up to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean, I get that. I mean, you're just kind of put in a box when you're in a group where you just have to do one thing.
That's what Avi Kaplan said. I think that's what he said the reason why he left Pentatonix, because now he does folk.
Oh.
It's actually incredible.
It's
Interesting.
fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really good.
He also does those sea shanties.
Wait, actually?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's kind of sick.
He's really good. He can play guitar. He did a cover of Hey Ya in like a folk tone, and it was kind of incredible.
That's pretty cool. Does he bring like any of the past or current Pentatonix members on his solo stuff?
No.
Smart.
It'd be kind of wild if they just heard Mitch start going like,
if Avi brought Kevin in to beatbox, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean,
that'd be kind of amazing.
which is funny because Kevin can sing as well.
Oh.
He's got an incredible tenor.
Does he sing a lot on the albums, or is he just the
No.
beatboxer?
No.
So he
Okay.
mainly beatboxes, but his singing voice is actually like incredible.
I see.
It's mostly on like the Christmas ones where you'll hear him
Gotcha.
on like sing, but he has a very, very nice and like sweet melodious voice. He's also a like world-class celloist.
Oh,
I
interesting.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, no, he posts these like amazing loops of like him beatboxing and doing cello over it.
Okay.
And like a looper, and it is by far one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I follow him on
pretty sick.
Instagram. He's cool. They all actually have like their own little side projects.
Yeah.
Like Mitch and Scott have a YouTube channel. It's called Superfruit.
Okay.
And
It's
they
actually not bad.
yeah, no, they were fun. They had some fun content. Superfruit even has some music, like just the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have some stuff like besides Pentatonix, though Pentatonix is like the main thing
Yeah.
that like got them on the mark,
Nice.
quote unquote.
Well, that's a little bit about Pentatonix in general. Should we get into the albums we chose for this week?
Absolutely.
All right. Who wants to go first?
How about you go first? I want to hear your
My take.
yeah. And before we begin, we like to preface this with every episode. We're not trying to give any hate to the artists or the albums. This
No.
is strictly just our opinions, and they are not valid.
Yes, tell us how wrong we are wherever. It's shout from the heavens, send us a tweet.
We'll hear it through the ether.
Yes, that's true. We do have direct connections through the dark realm in our recording studio.
The Dark World.
And yeah, dude, we got
Thor.
Malekith or whatever.
Thor.
Yeah, Thor.
The Dark World.
Throng the Dark Mick.
Good lord. Anyway.
Pentatonix Volume 1. Their very first release, their EP, came out in June 26, 2012 under Madison Gate Records. Is how many tracks? 1, 2, 3. 7 tracks and about 20 minutes long, and it feels a lot longer.
Yes, it does.
So, starting off my first impressions of Pentatonix, my God, are they theater kids.
Yes.
Dude, they just show off any moment that they can on this album, and like it's just overwhelming and distracting.
I can almost like the vision you just said about like theater kids, that like I just saw that in my brain.
Yeah.
Like me sitting alone, like somewhere over in the corner of the room, and they're just being like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like I could see it
Singing
now.
the Crucible in the corner.
Yeah.
Dear God.
What a world we live in. But yeah, so let's get a little deep dive into some of these tracks. So the album opens with a cover of Starships by Nicki Minaj, and it's not very good. I felt it was very boring. They try very hard on this. There's a lot of the backing instrumentals where they're just doing all different kinds of mouth sounds, and it's just really gross and really obnoxious, and it just distracts from the rest of the music. I also gotta say, there's like drops in this album for some reason, which I mean, I guess it makes sense for the time. This is 2012.
You mean
so-
like bass drops, like almost
yeah,
like a
like
okay.
a dubstep thing.
Oh.
Like, you know, like they build up and then it's like, but with mouth sounds, mind you, so it's even worse. But yeah, most of these tracks are just like are covers with 2 original songs, I believe. 2 original songs, and they're really don't compare to the original. Like, they're just really watered down versions. Like, Somebody That I Used to Know, which is the 3rd track, really is not very good. They try different things, more of a ballad, which, and I gotta say, like, the intros of these songs, it starts out really promising, and then they just keep adding stuff onto it, and it just kind of falls apart, which is a shame, because, like, there's a lot of promise here, and there's a lot of talent, but they just, like, do too much, and it just kind of crumbles in on itself.
They try to. It's almost like they try to show off a little bit.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
It always starts so strong, and then somewhere one person always just tries to like make it a little bit too much.
Yeah, they want it to be their moment.
And then it's almost as if like they try to outdo each other.
Exactly.
And it becomes
clashes.
less of the song and more about them just trying to become better than one another.
It becomes like an arms race of range.
That is a way to put it. Yes.
I mean, like, they just keep like getting higher and higher and higher. I mean, respect to Mitch, because he has one of the highest vocal ranges for like a male voice I've ever heard. But it's also kind of like not even just highest. He can also sing like pretty decently low too.
Yeah,
like,
he's got a very wide range.
like it's huge. But at the same time, it's like, we get it. We heard that like 3 albums ago. It just becomes a gimmick.
Yeah, it's just like very repetitive. It's the same thing. It's just like, here's like a cover, but like at a slightly slower or faster tempo, and then we're gonna do some crazy stuff that makes us different. But so yeah, most of their covers are like that. Their cover of We Are Young, which closes the album, is terrible. I hate it so much. It kind of does this thing where, you know how like it starts like fast and then kind of slows down in the chorus. They flip that, so it's slow in the verses and then fast in the chorus. Then it just kind of stays on that tempo for the rest of the song.
Oh, that's
annoying.
That sounds really, really.
Yeah, it's strange. The chorus is also terrible. Oh yeah, also a very weird reggae vibe to it. Like,
No.
like it's so strange. Like, they just try too much and it just never works. But I will say, the originals on this album aren't that bad.
No.
I like the second track, "The Baddest Girl," is my favorite track on the album. It's like a classic like 2000s R&B song, and it works really well. I thought it was really good.
Good to know. I probably will not give it a listen,
Fair enough, man.
but based off of what I, at least not in full, I'll probably listen to each of them separately.
Yeah.
Like, you know, once a day. Once in a while.
Yeah.
You know? But, yeah, no, honestly, AJ, from my album that I did, which, to be honest, it's kind of hard to track their discography of what to listen to.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I kind of noticed, because I picked a weird one. My album, as I mentioned before in the episode, it was the PTX Volume 3, but they also have one that's just called PTX with the exact same cover and the exact same songs, but the one that says Volume 3 has less than the one that just says PTX. So I'm assuming they're both part of the same like set.
Same canon.
So my whole thing is, I was flipping back and forth between the two.
Yeah.
And I've heard a lot of the ones on PTX separately, but I listened through to just Volume 3. And may I just say, I'll give you a little bit of what I thought of most of them. I will say, this isn't on the Volume 3 version, like the shorter one, but their cover, the Daft Punk medley, is quite good.
Yeah,
like,
I enjoyed that one.
Honestly, like, out of all, it's like when I was in high school, it was actually the thing that got me into Pentatonix and, like, you know, it made me like them a bit.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I feel like the magic kind of fades away once you start listening to Problem by Ariana Grande.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was definitely not
No, not a highlight.
That
it
hurts
was
you.
it was it wasn't bad, but it's just, I'm going to keep coining what you said about the whole theater kid thing.
Yeah.
It genuinely just feels like showing off, and I just I don't know.
When I listened to the song, do you know, like, it reminded me of the meme of, like, it's this dude in, like, his room, and he's, like, trying to beatbox. He's going,
Yeah.
like, that's exactly what it sounds like.
It's, like, not that bad. I mean, respect to Avi Kaplan, because he was just doing what the composer told him to do.
He was getting a paycheck.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, we get it. Just boom, 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 like over and over again. Like, okay, cool.
He could have done a lot more than that.
He really could have. He has such a good voice. It's so smooth and like rich. it's fantastic. It's a
Yeah.
great and like AJ, you really should listen to his folk stuff. Like
Okay.
for real.
Really good.
It does sound interesting, yeah.
He also has this amazing like decorative guitar thing that he apparently had passed down from like generation to generation from his family. It's all on his Instagram. It's incredible. I forget what his band's called, but
Oh, it's like a band?
yeah, I mean like he's like the artist, but he has like a rolling
Okay.
band.
Gotcha.
He also has some like cover videos on YouTube with the band. The Hey Ya cover is quite good.
Sweet.
I'm pretty sure there's a banjo in it.
Ooh,
It's pretty nice.
nice.
Yeah, the Daft Punk one was good.
Solid.
It was
I liked
actually
it, yeah.
I've always enjoyed that because I've actually listened to that for a while. Problem was,
Yeah. Agree.
so on my way home, this one, okay, I won't lie to you, it's not bad. But at the same time, I can't say that I'm going to be like humming it on the way home. Like, we're on our way home. That's the Beatles. I just did. That was the only
A
thing that
better
came.
band.
That's next episode. I'm kidding. No, but honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of their originals.
Yeah.
Like-
it's hit or miss.
Like, don't get me wrong, the covers are not always great.
Yeah.
And I really am biased toward the Christmas ones because I like the Christmas ones more than any of the other ones because I just like Christmas. But at the same time, some of their originals are very, like you said, hit or miss.
Yeah.
On my way home, it just kind of felt a bit long.
Yeah. Like they do interesting things on their originals. Like they kind of borrow from different genres. This was like a more world music kind of thing, which is cool. But like we get it. Like you don't have to stretch it out for this long.
Yeah. The originals that they do, they're not as lyrically good as the covers.
No.
But the thing is, the covers, they didn't write the lyrics
Exactly.
or write the original composition. So it's like, okay, why even add them to the cover album?
Yeah.
Like, just make your own albums for originals and your own albums for covers.
I feel like they're doing the originals kind of like out of obligation because like they don't want to be tied into just like a cover band. They want to be like we're like real musicians too. But they kind of maybe like they do this in the future because this is pretty early in their careers. The albums that we listen to. So I don't know how their originals have improved. Paul, do you have any insight on that?
Yes. So a lot of their newer stuff is actually much like their older stuff.
Okay.
Their songs are decent, but they're more of like I really won't go out of my way to listen to it.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
Their songs are okay, and I'll give them the respect they need for it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to keep listening to it.
I see.
So like if it's on like the radio, sure. Will I stop listening to it? Yeah. But I mean, overall though, they're a good band. Okay, like
Yeah.
they're a good acapella
Like
group.
they
Of
are
course.
very talented singers, but not the best. Well, do they write their own stuff, or do they have someone who writes for them?
They have
Yes.
somebody who, they
Both.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess they have a ghostwriter and they also have a ghostwriter, arranger, and like they also I guess write their own
Yeah, I guess.
ones.
Okay.
They're all very musically inclined and
yes.
they're brilliant, but
They fall short in certain areas.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Okay, that's
It's
a good
not-
way to put it.
it's not even that they fall short. They jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they really just like
They fall off the cliff, man.
Think about it as like a bridge. You can slowly walk across it to like make sure you're safe. They just kind of sprint and then just keep sprinting over the bridge when they don't need to.
No,
Yeah.
So
I
it
agree.
is kind of like a big problem as like I said, like they don't like you're right, they don't really fall short. It's more of they just try to outdo their previous album.
Yes.
That's fair.
But with doing that, they make a lot of mistakes and they keep doing the same thing over and over again. So it's just
It's like a
repetitive.
curse. Yeah, it's like a cycle.
It's like it's weird because I feel like they may have peaked like a long time ago, but it feels like they're constantly scared of that, so they just keep trying to add like gimmicks and stuff.
Yeah, more stuff on top.
Which it's impressive that they can do crazy things like sing really high or sing really low or even like make sounds with your mouth that like do not sound like
Yes, that make you feel icky.
but
That's a great way of putting that.
but I don't know. For example, the next track I was going to say, it's called La La Latch. Now, I actually am a little biased toward this one because in the acapella group I did in high school, we actually did this song.
Oh,
Yeah. And I sang the beginning part where it was La La La. Or no, it was Latch. It was Latch. That was the part that I sang in the arrangement. And listening to it over again, like I enjoyed it because I did it, you know what I mean? And I remembered my part and I was like humming along. But then I kind of was just thinking like, listening to this, it's like, okay, mashups are only, I feel like mashups are a very gimmicky thing in themselves, not specifically just an acapella, but like also just in general. I feel like people who like truly like, is there like a mashup culture?
Oh, 100%, especially like on the internet.
Oh, of course. But like, I feel like it's a little overdone in this one.
Like, again, they try too much, they add too much, and it's distracting and it's obnoxious, and like it doesn't really mesh well.
I can't even like listen. Like I get distracted from the song itself.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Like, I'm getting like way too, I guess, involved with what they're doing individually that I don't even really listen to the song. And like how you said how like you did this a cappella group and you did this song, and this song, I guess, like I don't know if it connects to you in a sort of way because you did it.
Yeah,
but
it does.
The fact that Pentatonix did it and you're, I guess, not the biggest fan of it, it kind of, you don't want to hate the song because they did it, but it kind of,
Looking at it from like an objective standpoint,
it kind of just ruins it a bit.
Just a tad.
Just a tad?
Just a little bit. But I mean, like, I don't know. I don't want to, like we said before, don't want to bash the band. This is just straight up just our opinion, but like, good Lord. Once it got to be like see-through, that was like one of their originals. I didn't hate that one, but at the same time, you know,
it's something special.
yeah.
It's like you'll listen to it once.
And you're like, I get it.
Okay, like I don't want to play it again, but
Yeah, it's like
okay.
I can say I heard it.
It sure is a song, you know, like
Out of all the songs I've heard, it is one of them.
it definitely
It
is.
interesting.
And then the last two that were actually on the album that I listened to, the volume 3, the shorter one. I don't know how to pronounce
Is this
this one.
Papaoutai?
Which one is it?
Papaoutai?
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 I will look at it. Hold on. Where is it?
It's like Papaoutai? Or is it Tui?
Is this the
I think it's
sh-
might be
is this the
Papaoutai.
is this the shorter one?
Yeah.
The shorter one. It's the French one.
My phone won't.
I actually really like this track, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I enjoy
because
this
they
one.
have an actual instrumentalist.
Exactly! It's what they've been waiting for.
At first, I read that as Papaoutai.
Is that like a guy with like a belly button?
I think I kind of feel violated by that. I don't like it.
Just constantly walking around, just like over his midriff.
Hey, it's Papaoutai.
I feel like it's just like he cuts open a little circle in his shirt.
Just for the belly
Just
button.
let it come out of it. Just like pokes out just a little bit. Papaoutai.
That's my OC, don't steal.
I won't.
I want to get like a jacket. This is Papaoutai. Or no, a license plate
That's a good one.
for my Subaru Forester.
I feel like you get pulled over for that.
Probably.
And then the cop rolls down the window, just sees your Audi sticking out. He's intimidated, walks right away.
Breaker. We have Papaoutai on 295.
It's quite repulsive to look at. I need some backup.
It's just like every part of his body is just like super clean, but then just the belly button
Foul.
is just like
That's terrible.
it has like fumes coming out of it.
Anyway,
Papaoutai.
Papaoutai.
Pentatonix definitely thought of that.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
yo,
That was actually the concept behind the song.
But which
It's
one of them
actually-
is Papaoutai?
It was
Kevin.
Avi. That's why he dipped.
Oh, I was gonna say Kevin.
I don't know who Kevin is. I don't know who any of these people
He's
are,
the
if I'm being honest.
Beatboxer.
Okay.
The beatboxers.
I did like that one only because it was really something different,
Exactly.
and I enjoyed it a lot. Lindsay Sterling is a fantastic violinist,
Oh yeah.
and
She's great.
she's really, really cool. I actually appreciated her work like a lot in the past, and she's done a lot of collabs with the Pentatonix. Sorry, Pentatonix. I don't know why I keep calling him the Pentatonix. Standing By, not bad. I didn't really. It's not memorable in my opinion. None of their like originals are memorable, unfortunately for me. Like I always feel like it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, that was nice, but.
Yeah.
And I may remember that I listened to this.
Like, especially on this album.
Spotify will remind me that I listened to this.
I did a private session, so I wouldn't record that.
Now there are two more off of the big one because, like I mentioned before, I switched between the little one and the big one because I've listened to some of the ones on the big one. Some notable ones that are actually okay covers. Royals is not bad.
Royals is good. I really like that track. I thought they did it very well.
I Need Your Love was
It was pretty good. I think it was
Pretty
it
good.
was pretty decent. You know.
Yeah, that one's pretty good too. I like that a lot.
I also really like Ellie Goulding in general, so like that could also be why. And that's kind of the reason why I mentioned before with the Daft Punk medley. I'm a huge Daft Punk
Yeah.
fan. So I thought they really did justice because Daft Punk also merges their songs.
Exactly.
So I felt like it was kind of a nice homage to the band. But keep going down the list of the ones that I know. Somebody that I used to know was
Okay.
It was all right.
So I didn't listen. I listened to the big version of this album. I didn't listen to the bonus tracks, which was Somebody That's You Know and Radioactive. I hate Radioactive on principle, so I'm not going to listen to the Pentatonix version.
That's fair, but it was actually not bad.
Okay.
Lindsey Sterling is in that one too.
Okay.
It's obviously Radioactive has its major flaws, and most people just shouldn't like it.
And it's
Yeah.
overplayed.
It's
Yes.
way overplayed. It's everywhere. If you ever go to a party, Radioactive will be played.
Unfortunately.
multiple times. During that time, go outside. Don't
Just hear
don't
it?
listen to it.
No.
Yeah. But no, their rendition of Radioactive is
Okay.
actually not bad.
All right.
Do I prefer it over the original? I don't want to listen to either song.
You know what? That's a fair point. I have a question, though. Is the version of Somebody They Used to Know different on this album than their first release?
I want to say yes.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've listened to this album, but I mean, I want to say yes.
Okay, because I didn't like it on Volume 1, so maybe I'll give it a try to see if that changes anything, if it is
You
different.
probably still won't like
That's
it.
a fair point.
That song as well, I just don't like.
Okay.
It's
So-
okay. I mean, the cool thing about that music video for Radioactive by Imagine Dragons is that the girl from Percy Jackson is in the music video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she has a bunch of stuffed animals fight other stuffed animals in a... Have you ever seen this music video?
I've just seen the part where he's painted into the wall.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I don't want to watch this.
It's actually kind of a badass music video.
Every time I think of music video now, I just think of like Creed music videos.
Oh,
that's
gosh.
unfortunate.
And
Oh my
I just
gosh.
have nightmares.
They're terrible.
That's a future episode
Oh, gosh.
You gotta
we
bring
could
me
actually
back,
do-
please
For the Creed episode?
A Creed episode. I have words.
Oh, boy.
I feel like we also need to maybe get Fataday here.
Oh, yes. Saturday would have a field day with Creed.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, AJ, how would you rate your album?
So Pentatonix Volume 1, I gave that one, I believe, a 6.5 out of 10 or a C on the tier list.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It was okay. So I'll read some of my final thoughts. It's technically very impressive. They have great vocal range. Their harmonies are phenomenal. They're very talented with their mouths, and they know how to use them in every aspect, unfortunately, which is where the criticisms come in. There is so much going on in this and all these songs. They just kind of throw it at the wall and sees what sticks, and a lot of the time, none of it does. It's just a lot of like channel panning back and forth of just various noises. Also, Pentatonix loves their halftime, man. There's so many just slowdowns in both of these albums. And a lot of the songs I noticed, they kind of lack weight because there's no instrumentals. So it's like when a point like should hit really hard, it's like just shy of that. It just feels a little empty.
So with that, listening it to like on like your phone or Spotify or like over the radio or something, it lacks because of the instrumentals
Yeah.
and because they're not really there. But in person, like I've been to a few of these shows, and in person, it's more of like you're just reveling on how good they are, that you're not tending to notice that the things aren't there. So it's more of like, oh, they're that good, because they barely sound like they have auto-tune
Okay.
at all during like live performances. They almost sound better in live performance, and you kind of like marvel at how good they are, that you tend not to notice how bad some of their songs are. So I mean, I'm not going to say that's how they get you,
Yeah.
but that's definitely how they get you.
Yeah.
So
So when they perform live, it's just them, right?
yeah,
Okay.
it's usually they're just the bunch on stage microphones, and then they just kind of do their thing.
They have like a bass like player too, right? Or is that only like on studio stuff? Because I did like a little bit of research, just like see like what was up.
Last time I was there was during one of their Christmas specials.
Okay.
I went to one of their Christmas concerts, and it was just them on stage.
Gotcha.
I think they had a pit somewhere of people, but I didn't really tend to notice. Usually,
focus on the singers,
Usually, just
yeah.
focus on the singers, and I love their Christmas albums. So
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, Pentatonix Volume 1. For a first attempt, it's fine. I definitely think Volume 3 is an improvement. They do fix a lot of the issues that are on this album, but there's still a lot of like growing pains, and a lot of like similar issues are there as well. So Matt, what do you think about your album?
Okay, well, I was actually looking at Volume 1, and it turns out, again, separately, I've listened to a lot of these songs. So, I mean, I feel like I for my album, really, I'd give it like maybe a 5.5, maybe a 6.
Okay.
Just because, like, yeah, all this, like, I'm fine with the songs separately. Like, if it comes up in the mix of like me already listening to like other music, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm chill with that. I just also feel like for an entire like album, like an entire album's worth of songs is what I'm trying to say. I just really feel like it's too much.
Oh, yes.
It's too much of almost there, as you kind of coined it.
There's a threshold you hit in a Pentatonix album where you just check out.
Yeah.
And
You have
like,
to stop. You can't
yeah.
Any person that listens to an entire album of Pentatonix isn't in their right mind. So I've been listening to them for years. I still can't listen. Like maybe a Christmas album, but that's only if it's in the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Like, because like, they do release their albums during the Christmas season, which is nice. But like, if you listen to their entire album in one go, it's impossible.
Okay. I can definitely see that.
It starts to feel a little bit just like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like,
It's just like, it's like overwhelming in a way, but like, it's like heavy. Like, it's like a heavy feeling that you just like, you just kind of feel like this just weight on you and you're just like, I just want this to be over.
I definitely think that like you said, the volume 1 compared to volume 3, like volume 3, definitely they improved in some capacity, maybe even just like recording wise. But overall, both of them are pretty much the same to me.
That's a fair point. I mean, I listened to both albums this week, which probably won't be a similar thing going forward.
We'll see as we go along.
We'll see how it is. Just stay tuned on the family album, available on streaming and somewhere else.
The fact that you listen to 2 Pentatonix albums,
I did
in
it
a
back to back.
back to back.
That was a bad choice.
See, the problem with that though is because you listen to so much, I guess the thought of Pentatonix is just so much that each song just feels like it just gets worse.
Yeah, it just blends, dude.
It really does.
Every song just sounds the same. It's just very repetitive, and overall, it just kind of just dips into an area that you just don't want to go to anymore.
Exactly.
I will say, I feel like even though their Christmas, like the Christmas one is also just another one of their albums, technically, there is something really nice about it.
Yeah.
Like I've listened to that one in full before, and I feel like there's something they kind of almost like revolutionized old Christmas music.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you really think about it, because in a way, what people are getting like absolutely fucking turned to like Silent Night, you know what I
That's a
mean?
good point.
Or like Oh Holy Night, or even
Angels We've Heard on High.
like, you know, like sure, it can be seen as corny, but they kind of revolutionized Christmas music in a weird way. So I give them credit for that.
It's almost as like they put all of their skill into Christmas music.
It's
If
almost
you
like
actually think about it, their Christmas music is very good.
Yes.
And if you compare it to their other albums, their other albums are horrible.
no,
So I mean, take Hallelujah. Okay, it's not. Would you can classify that technically as a Christmas song or just a religious song?
neither.
Neither.
Yeah.
It's just
Honestly, neither. It's just a weird one that religious people vibe to because
And
it
Shrek.
mentions religious themes.
every time I find a Pentatonix song, I just try to compare it to Hallelujah because that's just so well made.
That is their like peak. Like
Gotcha.
if you
Have you
want to
listened to
listen.
No, I haven't. I don't.
It's
At least not that I
very,
remember.
very good.
Music video wise too, they're like walking through like a desert and it's kind of awesome. And they're all dressed in like all black and it's a serious tone. And I will say it's kind of cool.
Cool. I was gonna say I think I might have remembered that, but I'm thinking of Amazing Grace because of a certain teacher that really likes Pentatonix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they show it in their quizzes.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
they do. They sure do.
Topic for another time.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, I guess those are our thoughts on Pentatonix. Very talented musicians, but not the best when it comes to knowing when to bring it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you for joining us. Do
Thank you
have
so much.
any final
inviting me.
words?
Yeah. Don't listen to a full album through. One song a day. That'll maybe make it a little bit more bearable.
It's like a doctor's prescription. Like
Exactly, once a day. You do more, you might regret that.
Yeah.
only one Pentatonix a day keeps the sadness away.
That's actually kind of factual.
It is.
Scientifically proven, baby.
If you want a good Pentatonix song, just go to a Christmas album. Just,
Yeah.
And listen to one.
just
what it
listen to
sounds
one.
like.
It'll make you cheerful again. If you go into one of the original albums and click at random, you might get more sad.
And just like honestly, or if you are gonna listen to like multiple Pentatonix albums, mix it in with some other stuff, especially like for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you guys have been listening to the Family album.
Yes, you have. Paul, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, anytime. Once again, I'm your host, AJ Tanari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
See you next time.
Peace.